Video 3. We finally got around to talking about the new Buckingham Throttle ascending and descending device. Alright? Now, put this little timer over here. And I was talking about ropes. The sweet spot for the throttle seems to be in the 11 plus millimeter range, maybe up to 12. It says it's good for up to 13, but I do not recommend a 13 millimeter rope in this device. I went ahead and opened it up. Alright, I opened it up. The thing about it is that they say, oh well, you know, you can use 13 millimeter ropes in there. There'll be a bit of a wear-in period, okay? Now, I don't like that terminology. Wear-in means that you have worn down your devices that give friction to hold the rope, okay? You've worn away material and now it fits, right? I don't like that. You know, you should say, well, just be realistic about it, you know. It's good for 11 to 12 millimeter ropes, you know. That's what I would say, right? Now, they might, you know, somebody may differ. They may find a rope that's real supple that's 13 millimeter, and they may get it to fit and they may get it to work, whatever. But I put that Samson 12.7 millimeter Vortex hot, and I've got it right here, okay? Got it right here. I put that in there, and it was like choking on it. It was choking on it. It's just too thick of a rope. Alright? I'm going to reach in here, grab this Samson. This is a 12.7 millimeter Vortex hot tree rope. Samson. Now, you look at how thick this sucker is, you know, and then you look at these cams, okay? You look at these cams. I had it in here. I'm not going to put it in here for the video because it was very, very tight fit. These grooves in here are not designed to fit this big fat rope. However, they fit ropes in the 11 to 12 millimeter range very nicely. And if you don't want a lot of unnecessary wear on your cams and your device, that's what I would recommend. Run between an 11 and 12 millimeter rope. Okay? I never used less than an 11 millimeter rope. 11 millimeter rope was always considered a beefy rope. Now you got some of these skinny climbers out there. They're running double rope, 8 millimeter, 9 millimeter rope, double rope. You know, not me. Not me. You know, 11 millimeter rope is good. It's got plenty of beef. It can 11 millimeter rope has always been considered a hardcore rope that can take a lot of abuse. You know, more than what it should. Okay, so now you got tree ropes. A lot of tree ropes are between 11 and 13 millimeter, and also ropes that they use in what they call rope access work, blah blah blah, you know, on skyscrapers and whatnot. But see, the thing is that this rope is a Kermantle rope. Now I have an L.V.I rope here. That's my best rope. It cost a lot of money when I got it, and it's an 11 millimeter Stratos edge fall capable rope. Okay. excellent rope. L.V.I, they invented the Kernmantle rope. Okay, L.V.I did. They invented Kernmantle rope. Kernmantle rope means that you have the core of the rope is actually the strength member. And then this on the outside is the mantle. It protects the core rope. So it's like two ropes. But with arborist rope, like this is the strength member on the outside, and on the inside is designed to give the rope body so that cams and things like that can latch onto it easily. Alright? But I have always been the Kernmantle guy. You know, technically, was it legal when I was doing tree work with Kernmantle rope? I don't know. Nobody ever stopped and asked me, but I was always going to run what I felt was safest. Okay, and Kernmantle rope is safest. Okay, I have that rope there, and I use that rope. I got it just because I wanted to try it. Okay, and I used it a lot. Never used it with one of these devices though. These devices are finicky when it comes to ropes, right? I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put this one in here. Now you just drag it down through the top, alright, and then it's in. And then there is a groove here. Now you notice that this barely fits into that groove, and this is 11 millimeter rope, right? Now, I've got the bottom part open. I'm going to go ahead and close the top. I've got it captured here. I'm going to go ahead and close this top bit. Alright. So this is two movements to open this device at the top. This is where your friction is, at the top. Now, I'm going to go ahead and bring this here, and then I'm going to bring this around this bollard, and there's another bollard here, okay, and then so now I'm going to bring this together. Alright, just click it in place. Oops, I messed up. I'm trying to talk to you and do this at the same time. Alright, so as you can see, in this groove, and you want to be behind this big bollard right here, the one that says MRS SRS, right? So you want to be behind that, and you want to be in front of this lowest bollard here, okay? You want to be in front of that, and then you sandwich that together, and it clicks. This button here, this button that holds this bottom section together, it's indented, so you have to get down in there to push the button. It's not just going to accidentally get pushed. Okay, so now it's on the rope. Okay, it's on the rope now. It's in SRS mode, which means doubled rope technique, DDRT. That's what that means. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get me a carabiner here and put this through here. Alright. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to clip into the bottom section here. Okay. Now this device likes you to use the wide part of the carabiner. Okay, it likes you to use the wide part of the carabiner in this opening. Now this at the top, when you're doing the DDRT, your rope goes up, and then I got this set up for something else there, so I'll do something else here. I'm just going to pretend that I got the bitter end over here of the rope. Alright? I'm going to pretend I got the bitter end. I'll just throw a quick knot in here. Alright, so I'll just throw a quick figure 8 in here. Alright. Just for demonstration purposes, right? Let's just pretend that this part of the rope there is that rope is not there. Let's just pretend that's not there. Alright? No, that's not there. So this is let's say that's about 2 inches there. And this goes up around our friction saver or our ring and ring, and it comes back down, and what they want you to do is they want you to clip in to the top part of this device, right? So we'll go ahead and do that now. These holes in the device, they like the wide part. They don't really move past that, okay? So they kind of auto-align, alright? They kind of automatically align, okay? So as you can see, let's say I put weight on this wants to pull on this top bit here because that is my friction. That is my point of friction. Now when I put weight on there, it grabs a bite of the rope without damaging it. So that's very nice. Now if I want to come down, let's say I'm at the top and I want to come down, I just grab that and kind of roll with my hand here. Alright, and this will automatically start slacking out. Okay, see that? Now watch, look at that, see? See how I let this carabiner go? It doesn't, it self-aligns. You see that? So it goes back up, it self-aligns. It's wide enough on the device to where it only likes the wide part of the carabiner. Do you understand what I'm saying here? So that way it can't get side loaded. So that's actually a nice feature. Now if I want to go up, I just do that and it will automatically bite as soon as there's weight on it. If I want to go down, I just push here and the slack goes out. Alright? Now let's say that you are in quote-unquote MRS mode, which is DDRT. I'm never giving up DDRT. I'm going to continue to say DDRT for the rest of my life. MRS is something else. So anyway, let's say that you have an 11 millimeter rope, but you're weighted heavy. You have a lot of equipment. And you're not quite getting the bite that you want, but you like the rope. The rope's good enough, but you're not quite getting the amount of friction that you like. So you can go ahead and push that detent and open that back up. Okay, open this back up. And then just go ahead, there's a place here. Quiet. There's a place here, you just push that in, okay, on the side of this bollard here. Push that in and then slide it over into SRS mode. Keep in mind you're in double rope mode as far as what you're actually doing. But you moved it to SRS mode, so now you can get a little bit more friction because you have an 11 millimeter rope, right? So you want it, that's how you want to do it. Alright. So I'll get that behind that bollard there. And then I'm going to put that one there. Click that in place. Now I've got more friction. So it's an SRS mode, but I'm doing DDRT. Alright? So I got more friction. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this out here. And I wanted this in more friction because, like I said, I had a big load of stuff, had my chainsaw, had a whole bunch of equipment, you know, bringing stuff up with me. You know, sometimes you want to haul stuff up and establish yourself a workstation, which is something that I used to do. I'd use, you know, daisy chains, put a daisy chain up there and hang pruning devices and other things off. I'm pruning a tree. Alright, you could establish a workstation. Alright, so I put that in SRS mode. Now I want to go down. There we go. Now I want to go up. It's just more friction. You have to think of this as in more or less friction. Okay? Don't really think of it as in MRS or SRS. In my opinion, think of it as a situation where you want to either have more friction or less friction. Alright? So right now I've got more friction. Okay? So it bites harder. Between this and this, it will bite harder. Alright? Or I could take that apart and have less friction. Okay? And put it in quote-unquote MRS mode. Alright? Alright, we're going to go ahead and stop the video for now. I'm doing these videos. May do some other video outside. I got a lot of stuff to do. It's kind of hard to do videos and work at the same time, but I will probably... What I'll probably do is go ahead and cut some of that tree down, some of it out, piece it out, and then maybe go ahead and do some instructional stuff, or you know, not necessarily instructional, but show some of the Buckingham Throttle on different ropes. You know, I could see that I'm gonna love this device. I did get a 25% discount from Buckingham on the device, just as a disclaimer. It didn't really sway me that much because I looked at it from an engineering point of view. Not a mechanical engineer, but I have engineering experience from working with electrical and mechanical engineers both on things. But I did look at it with an engineering mindset. A friend of mine is a master's in electrical or mechanical engineering, but so he would bounce things off of me, and I'd bounce things off of him sometimes. But the thing is that I looked at all the devices on the market. Some of them are way too large. Some of them require extra stuff. You know, some of them look kind of wimpy. You know, and it was a toss-up between this Buckingham Throttle and the Petzl Zigzag. Not the Zigzag Swivel, because I wouldn't even own that one, because that swivel is a problematic point for me. The regular Petzl Zigzag with the 3 holes, not the 2 holes in the swivel. I don't like that swivel. The cheek, that would force the cheek plates to blow apart, and a problem. I could see that already, because you got a hardened steel ball in there. With the, you know, the whole thing is more than likely it's just machined out of, you know, some hardened steel, and then you got probably T6 aluminum cheek plates. You know, you put enough force, those cheek plates are going to blow apart like shrapnel. I guarantee you. The regular one, you got the 3 holes. You just clip into the bottom hole and you're done. And you got nothing to worry about expanding or none of that. Man, getting kind of hot. Alright, come back in another one. I will see you there.